Hi, my name is Ruperi. I am certified hypnotherapist, transformation coach, and today we are making a video about mental health awareness. And I wanted to dive deep into my own story and how I got started in this and how many years it took me to be who I am right now that you see on this camera. And yeah, all the fun stuff. But before I begin, I do want to say that it is most toughest, the hardest, confusing one, most isolating path that you would ever take. But it is also the most gratifying path that you would ever take. So having said that, let's get started into it. Some people don't remember what calm actually feels like. They look strong, responsible, high functioning, but inside their nervous system is always braced for the next crisis. For a long time, that was me. On the outside, I was strong. Inside, I was exhausted, anxious, and living in survival mode. For Mental Health Awareness Month, I want to share a season of my life where everything hit at once. My pregnancy, my dad's brain cancer, my son's birth trauma, my partner's terminal diagnosis, and how hypnosis and self-hypnosis, neuroscience, psycho-spiritual healing helped me rebuild my nervous system. So if you ever felt like you were holding everything together while secretly falling apart, this one is for you. And at the end, I will guide you with a short self-hypnosis style practice so your body can feel at least 1 or 2 safer. I'm going to start with the chapter where I was 6 months pregnant and we had just celebrated my baby shower. And for a moment, I felt like, okay, things are actually seeming a bit normal, because throughout the pregnancy, we always got bad news after bad news. I had twins, and then one day I didn't. And then the doctor told me that the baby is not growing enough. Then they said that I have a fibroid in my uterus that's growing bigger and it's taking all the blood flow from the baby itself. Then at 20 weeks, we found out that baby has cleft lip and palate. And just for a brief moment at the baby shower, I felt like I was doing something normal. Something in my life was being normal. And right after that, we got news that my dad was being disoriented, not following instruction. And within a day, we found out that he had a massive tumor in his brain. It had to be surgically removed. And then the diagnosis came in, where this is a diagnosis that everyone's heart drops. They said that the tumor was malignant. He actually had brain cancer and he was given just 6 months to live. So in my head, I'm 6 months pregnant and I have 3 more months to go. And I don't know if my dad's gonna actually see my son or not. He's not gonna spend any time with my son, and this is the first baby in the family. In my dad's side and my mom's side. Crazy. So at that time, I already knew my baby wasn't growing. We had birth defects, this, that, no job security from my son's father. His green card was hanging by the thread, and now my dad has brain cancer. This stress put me into a pregnancy called preeclampsia pregnant. About 20 days later, my dad's surgery, I had to go into emergency C-section. I delivered my baby at 28 weeks. When he finally came home after 3 months, the story doesn't end there. 2 surgeries actually in his first year, let alone 3 months in the NICU. So you can imagine my anxiety, my stress, my postpartum depression was out the fucking window. I lived in between home, hospital, worry, repeat. When he finally came home, like I said, we had to go through 2 of his surgery. My body was still in pain. My mind was heavy. My dad was going through chemo, radiation. My dad ended up living for about 18 months after that, which I loved. He was able to spend quite some time with my son. He helped me throughout my son's surgery and the NICU phase and hospital phase. This also leads me to, my father was living, there was always a constant anticipatory grief. And then in 2023, 2 months after my dad passed away, my son's father gets diagnosed with a terminal illness. So again, just when I think the life is becoming somewhat normal, we get hit by another storm. My son's father has ALS. I was also dealing with verbal abuse from him and his family. The place that should have felt like support became another source of threat. When my dad died, my world shattered. All the roles that I had been performing, strong daughter, strong partner, strong mother, collapsed. I reached a moment where I told myself, I cannot do this. That's when I decided I'm gonna separate from my son's father. Not because it was simple, but because it was necessary for my survival and my son's survival. It was the first big boundary that I set for my nervous system. Looking back now, I can see that my nervous system was in constant survival, and it wasn't just that I was stressed. I was stuck in flight, fight, and collapse. Some days I was hypervigilant and restless. Other days I could barely move. And because I was still functioning, people called me strong. But that strength without safety is just a body that never gets to relax. For a long time, I thought, this is just my personality. I'm anxious. I overthink. I am intense. Now I know that so much of what I called being me was just my nervous system that was stuck in emergency mode. Talking helped my mind, but my body didn't feel safe. I could describe my trauma in detail and still feel like I was living inside of it. Insight wasn't enough. My body needed a new experience. But that's when I started working with hypnosis and self-hypnosis. For me, hypnosis became a way to access a calmer state where my protective mind could soften and my body could receive a new message. Right now, in this moment, I'm safe. I kept telling myself. Every time the anxiety built up, every time the stress built up, every time I had a fear of future, I say, right now, in this moment, I am safe. And so that's how I began to use hypnosis, self-hypnosis, to heal me. In practice, it looks very simple. I would sit or lie down, close my eyes, and guide myself in with my voice or a recording or some just frequency music. I focus on my breath on a neutral or slightly safe place in my body, and then I repeat gentle truths like my son is breathing, I am breathing, that moment is over, this moment is different. Things that brought me relaxation and just a feeling of safety. I brought my spirituality into it. I stopped imagining God only in buildings or ritual. I started feeling God as a present, sitting beside me right here in my grief. And I realized God doesn't need a performance. This didn't erase the pain. It didn't undo the diagnosis, but it slowly, through repetition, my nervous system started to learn something new. Not every moment is an emergency. That's where my real transformation began after my dad passed away. And after I left my son's father, in the quiet, repetitive work of giving my body consistent experience of safety, and the results started showing up. And so before we close here, I want to offer a very simple practice so you can return to this. And I want to give a disclaimer. If you're driving or you're busy or you're listening to this while you're doing something, I encourage you to come back to this when you are not doing anything or you're about to go to bed. Please do not listen to it operating any machinery or like I said, driving. Find a safe spot so you can close your eyes and soften your gaze. And I want you to start to feel support under you. Feel your feet or the chair or the bed, wherever you are, or the floor. Let your body lean into the support just a tiny bit more. Take in a slow breath into your nose, out to your mouth. No forcing, just slightly softer. And then begin to scan your body. See if there is one place that feels just 2% more softer and neutral and okay to rest. Could be your hand, be your feet, be your breath, and just pick one. Bring your attention there, like you're sitting next to a friend that has all the love in the world, appreciation, and just press, no fixing, just being. If it feels okay, say quietly in your mind, in this moment, I feel safe enough to take just one softer. If your mind argues, that's okay. You can respond. Say, thank you for trying to protect me. You helped me survive. Now I'm learning something new. If you're spiritual, imagine God, source, universe sitting beside. Not asking you to perform, being with. Ask your body, what do you need from me today to feel 1% safer? Whatever comes up, rest, water, boundary, reaching out, this is all information your body provides you. If nothing comes up, it's okay. The listening itself is healing. And I want you to take another deep breath and thank yourself. Thank yourself for surviving, thank yourself for being, thank yourself for not giving up. And give love to yourself. All the younger self, all the younger versions of you, for not giving, so that you could be here. And when you're ready, wiggle your toes and open your eyes, feeling refreshed. And for this mental health awareness, I don't want to romanticize strength anymore. My goal is now safe. A nervous system that doesn't have to live in constant war. I want you to remember what you're going through might not be a personal failure. It might be just your body protecting you the only way that it knows how. And protection can be updated. That's the good news, is that you can teach your body a new level of protection, a new level of safety. And healing isn't about being someone new or someone else. It's just about slowly returning to who you used to be before survival showed up. So if this spoke to you, share in the comments what part of this landed in your body and your mind. And if you know somebody that's high functioning, exhausted, and just overwhelmed with life, send this video to them. They don't have to heal alone, and you don't either. Thank you for letting me tell my story, and thank you for letting me sit beside yours. Have a good day.